Hello, this is Chapter 3, Section 2, Finding the Domain and Range of a Relation, Lesson 2, Video 2. So the example says to give the domain and range of the relation based off the graph. So the first thing that you need to understand is exactly what a domain and range is. A domain is all of the x values, in essence. So a domain is a set of x values from an equation or a set of ordered pairs. A range is the same thing, but it's a set of y values. Alright, so again, domain is a set of x values and range is a set of y values. So when you're looking at a graph like the one that I have, you can first notice that it is continuous because it's a solid line between the points 1, 2, and 3, 4. You can also notice that on this graph, the 1, 2 is a closed dot, and so is the 3, 4, and then you have the solid line. So it's solid, which means that everything in between 1 and 3 and 2 and 4 is on this line. You can have ordered pairs like 1.27, comma, it would be, 2.3. So as it increases, the numbers are going to change proportionally. Now, how do you write domain and range? Sometimes it'll be extremely simple, like a mapping diagram, where you simply just state the x values and you state the y values. But in this case, you have to use basic inequalities. The first thing that you need to recognize is that it goes from 1 to 3. That means that the domain is from 1 to 3, where 1 is less, but that's not how we write this. We use set notation. So you use a little squiggly bracket, because that's what I call it. So use a squiggly bracket with an x, then you draw on a vertical line, and then you say that it's 1 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 3. Because again, it goes from 1 to 3. Range. We're going to use the same format as we did for x, for the domain, which is the set notation, but now we're going to be going from 2 to 4. So now you're going to say y, and then put it in the vertical line, and then y goes from 2 is less than or equal to y is less than or equal to 4. It's pretty straightforward for continuous graphs. At first, they do get a little bit more difficult. We will, as we progress through each of our different types of functions, we will be explaining all the different domains and ranges. So for the basic one, you just need to look for endpoints, and you can tell that this is an endpoint and this is an endpoint because they're dots. And then it's everything in between, which is why we have to use continuous. If we had a graph like we did in the first section, where it was discrete and you just had points on a graph, then the work would be a little bit different. The domain would be written close to the same, but then instead of just, writing an inequality, we just state the different x values. So we go from 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you would state 1, 2, 3, and 4. For the range, in this case, again, it goes from 1, so it goes up to 1, and then up to 2, up to 4, and then back to 2. So 3 is not used in this case, so you would only state the ones that you need. If it was a set of ordered pairs, you would just state all the x's and then state all the y's. Always from decreasing or increasing order, and nothing repeats. So this is your U-try. You have a mapping diagram and a T-chart in order to state your domain and ranges. So we're giving you a little bit of a more basic ones than the ones that I did, but again, please remember that you state X, state Y. Domain is X, range is Y. Please make sure that you write down all your notes and complete the U-tries and come in with any questions that you might have.